Hey y'all, I'm Courtney.
And I'm Sarah.
And this is Bodice Siblings,
the podcast where we read all the books we used to steal off our grandmother's nightstands.
And then we drink about it.
On this episode, we read Mistletoe and Holly by Janet Dailey. Christmas alert, y'all. We got a moppet. It's like a moppet level 5. We got a moppet who's like, you don't believe in Santa? Daddy and I will teach you to believe in Santa. We got a poor woman with a broken leg who keeps being forced to go do Christmas shit.
Sarah is big mad at this book.
I hated this book so much, y'all.
I didn't mind it so much.
But yeah, it's that kind of thing. It's like people keep dragging this woman out of her house and making her like do Christmas shit. And I just don't like it.
She's also mad about a divorce that happened between her parents. So there is like a bad divorce, but not really.
Yeah, there's
really nothing wrong.
There's nothing wrong with this book, except that it's badly written and just leave this woman alone.
Here we go. We don't have all the time in the world for you to, yell about it. So just keep that in mind.
Anyway, hey, y'all.
We have to check out by Ted because
this is going to come out in December. So we
said that every big one that we're doing, we're letting our people know that we did it here.
No, but the ones like this is the little one.
This is still one of for our episodes.
Okay, if you want to, we can.
Yeah, because we're trying to let them know that we did work.
I know. I just didn't I want them to think they're fresh and not 3 months later that we recorded this and stuck it under the bed.
I don't think they really care.
Okay, up to you.
I was just saying I would rather let them know what
they paid for.
Yes,
get their money's worth. Okay, I mean you can talk about it. Just
Can we keep this argument in?
No.
Okay. So, yes, we recorded this in late October, early November, because we are still on our Edisto Island retreat. So, again, thank you for...
November. She's going to kill me.
Oh, my God, y'all. You know what? It is very girls trip where you're like, okay, it's day 3. It's time to go home because, again, I didn't know that I was, going on a trip with my mama.
I got COVID.
All right, you got COVID, but is that why you've complained about every little minutia lights and things like that?
Okay, the lights.
It's damp in here.
The lights up
it's So anyway,
this is our second Janet Dailey. We did Ride the Thunder before, which we also did not like.
Yes, this one, Janet Dailey started her first book came out in 1976. She is, world best-selling. She sold over 320 million copies around the world in 19 different languages.
Well, the book says something interesting on the back cover. It says, Janet Dailey is one of the 5 best-selling living novelists with over 100 million of her books sold. And I tried to verify that or not verify that, but we've gotten rid of so many reference books at my library, and I was not going to go to an academic library. So, but if she was, and I see no reason to doubt it, she must have sold a bunch of copies, but not bestseller status of a bunch of books, which I think how a lot of these authors, of course, get there. They write a ton of books, and none of them are like Shogun. None of them do huge numbers, but they all do decent numbers. And so before you know it, you look around and she's racked it all up. And this came out in 1982, if you want to know when that was a claim.
Yes. So she is, per her website, she is dubbed America's First Lady of Romance.
I have some other choices. I mean, I guess, did she marry the president of romance?
Maybe.
Who is the president of romance?
There's so many options.
Clive Cussler.
She
married Clive Cussler.
That must be it. Yeah, so this one that we're doing is Mistletoe and Holly. Sarah's favorite.
The cover, the cover is evidently an 85 cover, so they actually re-released this, and I'm like, wow, the world is full of crappy Christmas and romance novels. And it's super red, of course. It's got this little oval inset of a soap opera man kissing a soap opera woman in front of a Christmas tree. It looks a little lazy, so I want to know what the first, the original cover looked like, and I did not look it up, but I bet it was more fun. You want to hear the back?
I do, obviously.
Another magnificent romance from Janet Dailey, America's best love storyteller. I love how you can just write anything on the back of your own books. I'm going to start doing that. It's great. With one leg in a cast and a heart hardened by bitter holiday memories, all Leslie wanted for Christmas was a quiet and restful vacation at her aunt's Vermont home. But that was before she met the new neighbor, tall, strong, and virile Tagg Williams. That would be Tagg with 2 G's, yo.
It's short for Taggart.
Taggart's hotter.
Taggart is hotter.
Melted by the warmth of his smile and the ardor of his embrace, Leslie found herself caught under Tagg's romantic spell. But even as her passion mounted, she knew she would have to choose between the ghost of her past and the sudden burning desire to give herself and her heart to Tagg forever.
Yeah, that's pretty.
See, it doesn't warn you about a moppet. I don't like kids in romance novels. I want to know beforehand that there's going to be.
She does. I think that was the big part of it, because I think like the kid is like badly written because she, talks like she's 25. But all right, so let's jump into this. So we got our girl, Leslie, who is driving from Manhattan to Vermont with her leg in a cast. So that's kind of ill-advised.
Not smart, but I mean, like many of us have done. I haven't driven that far, but I drove around for several weeks with a cast on my leg.
I feel like that's a long-ass drive.
And throughout the book, it's actually very realistic about what a pain in the fucking ass this cast is.
Yeah, because she's like, she's driving. She finally gets to Vermont. She's trying to get out of the car, and there's like, she's at her aunt's house, and next door is, this man and his daughter playing outside with a sled, and they come and helpfully help her get out of the car.
Yeah. The daughter is 6, and she's very cute, and her name is Holly because it's a Christmas book.
Yes, her name is Holly. They're helping her get her crutches. Tagg is getting her luggage, being pretty useful thus far.
Yes, I will like plus one if you're going to like help a lady on crutches through a door. That's great. Awesome. No notes. It's just that it gets downhill from here.
See, again, this is, I just don't have the energy to argue with you about it because we've been on a trip all week. So, he gets her in, and Holly is all like, I'm Holly, blah, 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 blah. I love Christmas, blah, 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 blah. And the woman
believe in Santa? And she's like, she's one.
But also she's like, I don't believe it. I had a kid, so no, Santa doesn't exist. Like, she comes in hot, though. She comes in mad, like,
I don't want kids either. My husband and I.
But you know what? You don't get to enforce your viewpoint on like a kid,
Well, no, she tries to kind of dodge it.
I don't think she does. She's ready to talk about how much she hates Christmas for the damn jump.
She's just like, I'm not a Christmas person.
No, she does. It's not even that. It's like she's gonna have to have a rant and a rail about it and be like, blah, 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 blah.
They're in her space.
They're just having a conversation, and it's
like,
you know what? No, it's her aunt's space.
Well, yeah.
And the aunt is the one who allowed them in after they helped bring her shit in.
But they are always popping in unannounced, too.
Well, I mean, but also she is also inviting that you've got to, like, again, this is, we can't spend an hour and a half arguing about.
Well, anyway, it goes on. And then, like, what happens continually is that this moppet just, like, busts through the door. It's like, let's do paper chains. Let's do popcorn. Let's cut down a Christmas tree. Let's, like, this and let's that. And they don't let her say no. That's the thing I don't like about it.
See, I think the kid doesn't, but he does give her space to say no about the Christmas tree.
He kind of does not. He's all like,
no, he does,
because answer to everything that she says.
Well, it's like you, so you kind of see what it's like being with you.
But
so you're
Tagg.
You're Tagg
on a dog sled where I hauled your ass around the countryside.
Whatever. That she was so into that. So they do go on this like tree adventure, and it's kind of like, well, what she's like, well, what am I gonna do? And the aunt's like, well, you could ride a sled, because the aunt is egging it on too. And so she gets on a sled where this man like pulls the daughter like 2 miles, then cuts down a tree, then pulls her again and the daughter sub 2 miles, and like that is a ripped man.
Well, we find out that he was a professional skier.
Yes.
He's weirdly like closed off about his, okay, I understand why you wouldn't necessarily always want to talk about your dead wife, which he has one of those, but he also like won't tell her what he does for a living, which is a little weirdly evasive.
Yeah, you find out he's a lawyer, that he had been a professional skier for a long time. That's how he met his now dead wife. Her name was Cindy. He and Cindy had been separated, and by the time he finds out that Cindy was pregnant, he goes to Colorado where she is to try to work on things, and she gives birth, and then she dies afterwards of complications.
Yeah, and he obviously doesn't give a shit about Cindy. So, don't worry about that.
Nobody cares about Cindy. I mean, but you know what? At least they spent a little bit more time on Cindy and her death, and then in that one book where the man drove his family off of a cliff on a trailer.
I did. That was a Christmas book I liked, The Humbug Man. I liked that one. I was like, wait, do I always hate the Christmas books? No, I liked that one.
Yeah, but I mean, he drove his whole fucking family off a cliff, and they were like, "Oh, that sucks." But like in this one, at least there are some repercussions, and you can see why Holly keeps going over there eventually, because she lies.
Looking for a mommy.
She lies to one of her friends at a Christmas pageant and says that Leslie is her mom. So you could tell at least we have some kind of emotional fallout from the death, the terrible death death of like a female parent, you know? So we at least have that in this versus the one where a man drove his family off of a cliff.
Well, he felt bad about it.
Oh my God. So they're doing all this Christmas stuff. You know, Tagg's hands are too big and virile to thread popcorn. So she goes over there and does that. And she's enjoying it because...
Wait, we should say why she doesn't like Christmas. No, so her parents got divorced when she was a kid after an acrimonious marriage, which I get, that is traumatic.
Fair enough.
I mean, it's one of those 80s books where they act like divorce is like this, like, what's your trauma? Oh, everybody I ever knew died of cancer.
I drove my family off of a cliff.
What's your trauma? Oh, my mom and dad, my dad lives in Hawaii.
And like but here's the other thing is like when she gets hurt, her parents obviously love her and care about her because, you know, the mom drives up and wants to bring her home to Baltimore. The dad had sent her tickets like to come to Hawaii. And yes, like I understand the like,
they're playing each other at each other.
I get it. But at the same time, it's not like it's not like dad went and got a new family and completely shut her out or cut her off.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying it could be worse.
But I mean, that's why she hates Christmas is that Christmases were very acrimonious when she was a kid, which, okay, that is a fair reason. It's just that this is one of those books where they act like, you know, divorce is like a thing that's just been invented or something, you know?
Yeah, like
Susie's mommy works, you know?
But, you know, Janet Dailey, she's known for her courageous character.
How could she only be the first lady of romance? Why don't you call yourself the president of romance? Like, why would you call yourself the first lady of romance?
I don't know.
Dream big, bitch.
I know, or the queen, or like the, you know, something.
First lady.
Empress.
I'm the nation's hostess of romance.
I know. I don't get it. But so, you know, they're doing all these things. Tagg makes homemade hot chocolate.
And she can't believe he can cook because, like, she's never encountered the concept of a single dad.
Yeah.
Like, just not even the very idea. Like, it has not occurred to her.
Yeah. And, like, she ends up but she's always doing things like walking into town on her, you know.
Which is great because it's snow everywhere. It's Vermont, you know. She's got, like, the sock over the cast. It's the old-fashioned cast.
Yeah. It's like that big white. I'm like, This is crazy. But she ends up, like, going with him to Montpelier to, like, go shopping.
And Janet Dailey cannot wait to tell you the 3 things she knows about Montpelier.
It's wild. And, you know, she's like, she ends up enjoying it. They end up, you know, connecting. And she's like, he's like, I love you. She's like, I care about you, but divorced.
Yeah.
Divorced. And he's like, don't worry, you'll probably die in childbirth.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, that's...
I mean, like, you got a ticking clock, bitch. It doesn't really matter if you're divorced.
Yeah. So, you know, it's very much back and forth on that. She does go and, like, decide to buy Holly a gift, and gets her some books, gets Tagg something, gets kind of into the holiday spirit a little bit more. And I think it's because she gets to see, like, a functional family celebrating the holidays versus it being used as a like political tactics and who buys somebody the best gift.
Also, she's just like stock-owned because they will not let her not celebrate Christmas.
Her aunt gets all into it, but she's inviting people over for things. So she goes to the little Christmas pageant that Holly's in. Holly is a sheep. And that's where Holly tells one of her little friends that's her mom. And, you know,
that's where they have the third act breakup. And this has actually happened after there's been some pretty heavy petting.
Yes, yeah.
You know, so, like, she was kind of in it to win it, which is why she goes to the Christmas pageant. But then, like, and I mean, I think that is actually a reasonable reason to step back and be like, whoa. This kid, I didn't realize how invested this kid is in this relationship, which like, I've known you for 3 days.
Yeah.
You know, she obviously is hurt a lot more by having no mom than...
Well, they do give us a good little timeline with the leg. So because the leg, she has to wear that cast for 5 weeks, and we do see her like arrive, and then we see the cast come off.
But the cast comes off a little early, so I guess maybe we've been there for I guess this is an Advent book, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. And so, you know, they break up for a little bit, and then Tagg is like, I love you. I'm going to open my law office here. You can be my executive assistant. I got a job ready made for you. Because she's like, what? But then, you know, she kind of like, we have that Christmas Day, you know, proposal, and
there's a box, and it's like a little box inside a box, and, you know.
Yeah. And, you know, what happens is he has gotten Holly a dog for Christmas, and she's like, come over and play with the puppy. Mm-hmm. And so she comes over, and that's when she gets the
Now, he does do it with just the two of them.
Yes,
I really hate a public proposal if the two people are not 100% already on board.
Right.
He doesn't do that shit. It is done, you know, much more. I like the proposal. The proposal's fine.
Yeah, and so they get engaged, and now it's the two of them and Holly and the dog, Chris.
No, for short for Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it's one of these little short Christmas books. There's not a lot of plot.
It just took me days and days and days and days to read it because I just could not.
No, I get it. I mean, it's not the best, but it was, it was fine. So let's go to questions with it. Because again, it's not a very long book.
No, it's extremely wee.
Big dick energy or big dick energy?
Tagg is a forceful personality who won't let you not do Christmas.
Well, I was in it for Tagg because, again, this man drags a sled with some, like a makeshift harness that he, like, jerry rigs and drags a woman, a child, and then a Christmas tree back and forth, all told, probably like 4 miles. It was like 2 miles each way.
Snowing, yeah.
And then, like, so one, he can do that, but then also that she gives it presence of mind where he is tired at the end of it.
He can't lift her back into the car. He's like, I hope you can get your ass back.
So I appreciate that, but I was like, this man has some endurance.
Well, I think
because here's the thing, because that's cardio and like that's it. Yeah, like that is like
CrossFit shit.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, Tagg. He had very virile hair. Like she always writes him. I think like here's the thing, the way that she writes him, he's fine as a person because all of the things he says are okay. It's that she's always like, he mocked, he did this, but like
yeah, that's the thing. Like it's the dialogue thing. So like
it's not even what he is saying. It's like what she says that it's how he says it.
She's trying to write him as more one of those hard ass romance guys when he's actually like a kind of sweetheart.
He's he's like a cinnamon roll.
Yeah,
that's just like, hey, you want to come over? And it's like, hey, you want to
bring popcorn?
And it's like, but she makes it like he's like, you want to come string popcorn? All angry.
Yeah.
Like,
he mocked. He said laughingly. Like it's written very straight.
Yes, it's very straight.
Maybe that's why I didn't like.
I think maybe because like if you took out how she wrote, like how he delivers lines, everything in it is fine. Because if you're like, instead of he mocked, you'd be like, hey, would you like to come like go on a sled with us?
He asked.
Yes, like I think that would make all the difference. But it's like he sardonically grinned, and, like
it's always like that. It's
with his acidic tongue, like you want to come have some marshmallows. Like, it doesn't match.
And it's also okay. So this is 1982. So he's always making cracks about like, oh, I'm surprised she's a secretary at a firm in Manhattan. I'm surprised your boss let you go with your broken leg because you must be easy to catch running around the like.
Yes. What? And then he makes a joke. It's weird. Again, it's like he makes some joke about, she's like, at one point, she's like, where's my crutch? And he's like, oh, I hit it, so you couldn't run away. And she's like, I believe,
and she's like, excuse me. And he has the nerve.
But he's like, it's right in her eye line, like right underneath. He's like, it's right there.
Yeah.
But again, it's how she. It's how she writes. I think if like he's fine all of his actions, everything are fine. It's just the way that she writes.
She doesn't know how to write a nice one.
No, it's like we got to make him deliver things as a dick.
Yeah.
All right. Would you talk shit with her about the heroin?
I liked her actually. I know that you thought that she was so tied up at this Christmas thing, but I liked her.
I was just like, I can't with like she's one of those people that you would be like, hey, what are you doing for the holidays? And she would give you a big ass tirade, and I was like, I just asked you a question, man. Like, I just asked you a fucking question. I didn't need to hear your...
Maybe if you're constantly not letting her say no to your, like, Christmas, like, intense Christmas activities.
I don't know.
How many Christmas things do you do in a month? I mean, like, how many actual, like sing-alongs and shopping parties and...
Yeah, but he also, like, one of the things that she said, like, here's the thing. She comes up and says, I want to go on a sleigh ride. That is her. I want to go on a sleigh ride is what Leslie says to this man, and he makes it happen for her.
Well, I'm sure she didn't mean it because she didn't think he was going to show up at the sleigh, but of course he did.
See, like, you're mad about these things that are, like, her-centered. Like, again, if she's just like... She could have shut it down if she wanted to. She could have been like, no, I'm fine. I don't do this at all. Like, but she's like, okay, I'll come over. Okay, I'll do this. Because she wants this. She wants that man from, no, she wants that man from the jump.
Even though he said sardonically.
Yes, even though he said sardonically, so she was just a little bit like, for me, one of those that just doesn't hit it with me. I didn't like her.
I mean, like, I have not liked any of, honestly, these Janet Dailey characters, but I liked her just fine as, like,
It's fine. Yeah. Okay. Bechdel to bitch. No. I mean, we have an aunt.
The aunt's there. And
yeah, but the aunt, like, they never talk about anything other than
always
Tagg.
talk about Tagg. Hey, Tagg.
Yeah, that's all they talk about.
I would have liked if she'd had a woman friend, like the chick on the phone back in Manhattan.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been nice. I mean, it's a really short book, but I mean, some of these short books can make room for that, and this one didn't really bother. So
yeah. When it comes to consent, is this book more Robin Thicke or Marvin Gaye?
No. Okay, what he does when there's this like pretty sexy scene in front of the firelight, right? And he's got her sweater off, he's got her camisole off, and she's like, "Wait, no, stop." And he's like, "What do you mean?" Like, he's an asshole about it. I did not like that at all.
No, I didn't like that. And it was all like, well, we've had a lot of these where it's like, either we're going to have sex or we're going to not do anything. Mm-hmm. It's like,
you can just fool around,
Yes, I don't get like the whole.
But she says very clearly exactly what you're supposed to do. Like, no, stop. I don't want to do this. I'm not sure if I'm ready for this. And I'm not sure if this is what I want to do at all. And he makes her feel like shit.
Yeah.
He is a real dick on that. I did not care for that.
No, I agree. Okay. How badly are you judging your mom off reading this book? This would have been one that she had.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. These kind of things were just everywhere when I was a kid. Like, Little Shitty Christmas Book was everywhere when I was a kid.
No, everywhere, like 5 places. So she definitely would have read it. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. Would Florida ban it? Absolutely not, because everybody in this is
it's
white.
Very heteronormative. Well, except that the thing is, it feels so fucking 80s.
Yeah.
It is so 80s in like that bad way, like all these boss secretary jokes.
Yeah.
All this like a single man, you know how to cook a thing?
Yeah, Florida would promote it for sure.
He seems to have actually stabbed himself with a needle a couple times so that he can tell her he doesn't know how to string popcorn to make her come over for more fucking Christmas shit. Florida would love this shit. It's extremely heteronormative. Yeah. And I mean that whole boss secretary stuff too.
Yeah.
And he thinks he's doing an awesome, he's like, you're not going to believe what I have to show you. And he takes her into this slightly rundown, needs renovations building. He's like, this is going to be my new office. This could be your secretary office. What do you think? And she's like, I have a job.
Yeah.
Like, what's the 401k like, asshole? Like, what's the, I'm vested.
I'd be like, yeah, what are you going to pay me? What's my salary? Okay. You're not leaving the house looking like that. We get some
That's
sweaters.
Not true. There's some good sweaters.
We get sweaters. There are a lot of good sweaters. He's got good sweaters. She's got some sweaters.
Yeah, there is some sweater action. It's very funny that he can't figure out a camisole, which to me is easier to get into than a bra.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a parka. She's got a faux fur jacket. We do know that. She's got her faux fur jacket.
She's from Manhattan, right? She's a city girl.
Yes.
We work at like Purple Prose.
Yes.
It's you would think there'd be more in this book, but I did find one that I thought was very funny. Her fingers curled into the virile thickness of his hair in a response she was helpless to deny.
She uses virile thickness of his hair a lot, because I think there's another dog-eared page where she talks about his virile thick hair, and I don't get it. It's very strange. Like, how is your hair virally thick? Like, what kind of shampoo is that?
Oh, well, it's Breck, obviously.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Oh, there is another line in that paragraph that I just saw. This is the kind of thing. They're always mashing, like, it's supposed to be hot kissing, but it just feels like they're mashing their faces together. When she finally dragged her lips from the moistness of his, she lowered her head in a shakery reaction. That doesn't seem hot to me.
No, don't want to do that.
Don't want to do that.
Would your 12-year-old self have dog-eared any pages? Yes.
Yeah, there's some good titty action.
Yeah. Excuse me. What pairs nicely with a dumpster fire? Well, they drink cocoa all the time, so maybe some spiked cocoa.
Yeah, like Dr. Up a cocoa. Yeah, I would like one of those really fancy ones with like a peppermint stick.
Yes, yeah, because he is the king of making hot cocoa.
Yeah, he does it from his own recipe and stuff.
Yes, he's got his own. Like,
can't believe it. This is a level of cooking she's never imagined a man could do.
Yeah, like that he can. Oh my God, he can buy the Hershey's powdered, dark powdered.
I know. And then he's like hiding the packets.
Yeah, but like, okay,
Dismiss, motherfucker.
All right. So, what? Also, should a human being in the 21st century read this book?
No, you should not.
It's dumb.
Yeah, it's just there's better Christmas books.
Yeah,
like I don't usually even like a Christmas book that much. But
even the one where the man drove the people off the cliff is better. This one was just fine. It was okay.
It was a thing to do with your time back before we had Netflix.
Exactly. All right. So you can find us at bodicetipplers.com. Check out our revamped website. We've had it going on now for a few months. It's for your ease of listening and viewing and joining our Patreon. You can find us at Instagram, Bodice Tipplers, Facebook Bodice Tipplers. You can find us at Blue Sky. And yeah, everybody have a holly jolly Christmas. I hope that no one kidnaps you and puts you on a sled and drags you around.
Only if I previously requested it. Bodice Tipplers is part of the Frolic Network. Find more podcasts you'll love at frolic.media/podcasts.